This is TOS Television, your digital first Pan-African news network. I am Merciful Ajinamo, and you're watching Business Report Africa. We begin with Namibia, where at least 636 employees of Air Namibia have been left with no choice but to accept the national carrier's fate. The airline ceased operations after cancelling all flights as of March 25, 2020, and has ordered all its aircraft to return to base. As a result of the approved liquidation, about 636 staff stand to lose their jobs, as well as 4,500 others employed indirectly. The government closed the state-owned airline following its inability to cope with the financial losses of a national carrier that has not been profitable since its inception. And the Zimbabwe government has unveiled plans to construct about 24 new district hospitals and has commenced engagement with partners in the European Union for investment support. The country's Vice President, Constantino Chiwenga, stated this while speaking at a meeting with the EU ambassador to Zimbabwe, Timo Oikonen. Chiwenga, who is also the Minister of Health and Childcare, added that the government has expressed commitment to foster transparency and accountability in the use of donor funding extended towards the country's health sector to ensure continuity of programs and the building of new hospitals. And we move on to Rwanda, where ES Partners, ESP, in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation's Hanga Ahazaza and COVID-19 recovery and resilience programs in Rwanda, has provided technical and financial support to 144 small and medium enterprises, which have collectively employed over 1,361 employees. The participants in the program are SMEs and startups in the tourism and hospitality sector, which have been receiving technical assistance through ESP's Tourism Incorporated and COMESA programs. The UK government's announcement that it will be cutting its budget by half and terminating or reducing most of its current grant is the latest blow to the continent's research enterprise. Researchers based in Africa, however, reacted with dismay to the news. The UK Research and Innovation announced last week that a cut in the overall aid budget from 0.7% to 0.5% of GDP will result in a shortfall of £120 million in its aid-supported programs for 2021 and 2022. This will affect programs like the £1.5 billion Global Challenge Research Fund that finances joint projects between UK and developing country researchers. South Africa, Kenya and Uganda are the African countries with the most grant. On the 11th of March, UKRI wrote to grant holders warning that most of its aid-funded grants were unlikely to be funded beyond the 31st of July and that fresh grants have been put on hold. And to Sudan, the executive boards of both the World Bank and International Monetary Fund (IMF) has declared Sudan eligible for debt relief under its Enhanced Heavily Indebted Poor Countries initiative. Sudan's debt has mushroomed to $56 billion under 3 decades of the autocratic rule of Omar al-Bashir. The country's debt to the International Development Agency had blocked the country's access to international financial institutions like the World Bank Group. Since 2019, the Sudanese government has made economic reforms to relieve its debt and meet IMF and World Bank Group requirements to access the international funds. This is your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. You're watching Business Report Africa. More stories from the continent after the break. Do stay. Thanks for staying. The economic growth in sub-Saharan Africa is expected to rise between 2.3% and 3.4% in 2021 after contracting by 2% last year. The World Bank, who stated this, also noted that prospects for recovery in SSA economies are strengthening amid reactions to contain new waves of the COVID-19 pandemic and speed up vaccine rollout after an economic growth contraction in the region. Albert Zugfak, World Bank Chief Economist for Africa, said African countries have made tremendous investment over the last year to keep their economies afloat and protect the lives and livelihoods of their people. Ambitious reforms that support job creation, strengthen equitable growth, protect the vulnerable and contribute to environmental sustainability will be key to bolstering those efforts going forward toward a stronger recovery across the African continent. World Bank further said the second wave of COVID-19 infections is partially dragging down the 2021 growth projections as SSA recovery is expected to vary across countries. And the BUA Cement PLC, Nigeria's second largest cement company, has recorded an increased profit after tax by 19.4% to 72.3% naira for the financial year, which ended on December 31st, 2021, as against 60.6 billion naira in the corresponding period of 2019. The company's audited financial result released on the Nigerian Stock Exchange (NSE) showed that revenues also grew to 209.4 billion naira in 2020 from 175.5 billion naira in the year 2019. Return on equity also rose by 1.5% to 19.6% from 18% in 2019. The managing director of the Nigeria LNG Limited, Tony Atta, has stated that a large deposit of gas resources in Nigeria would amount to nothing if not utilized to meet the nation's energy needs. Atta said this at the pre-summit conference of the 2021 Nigeria International Petroleum Summit, organized by the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources. He stated that it was necessary to act now on gas through deliberate policies, such as the Decade of Gas, adding that the country must not continue to be gas-rich and energy-poor, while the gas processing and LNG capacity do not match the volume of gas reserves. He stated that our world is changing. We are set to add 2 billion more people by 2040 to become 9 billion people on Earth. On the back of this and anticipated growth in human prosperity, energy demand is expected to grow by more than 30%. Essentially, the world needs more energy, but needs it cleaner and cheaper to manage climate change and the 20C challenge through decarbonization. And world oil prices were eased on Monday after traffic resumed on the Suez Canal following the clearance of the massive container ship blocking the waterway. The Suez Canal Authority said the Ever Given was back afloat and traffic resuming in one of the most important routes for global trade and crude shipments that had been shut for almost a week. Crude prices had tumbled early after the ship was partially freed, but rebounded quickly afterwards when salvage experts managed to free the ship completely. President Muhammadu Buhari has stated that the new basic chemicals platform worth $1.3 billion that will produce ammonia and fertilizers in Nigeria will be ready for commissioning in the coming months. He made the disclosure at an audience with members of the Fertilizer Producers and Suppliers Association of Nigeria, FEPSAN, in Abuja. He stated that His Majesty the King of Morocco and I have agreed to extend the current phosphate supply agreement between the Kingdom of Morocco and Nigeria. We both believe that to consolidate and expand on the successes recorded thus far, we must secure raw material supplies to our blenders. The President was quoted as saying in a statement by his media advisor Femi Adesina. He assured FEPSAN that the federal government would continue to ensure a conducive business environment for such investment to flourish. And that is Business Report Africa. For more updates, visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com. Do also follow and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Stay with us and enjoy more programs. I am Merciful Ajinomo. Thanks for watching.